So, is it time for everyone to just agree with Brandon that Joel Embiid is the best player on the planet?
Oh, my God. Heavens, no. Brandon, I'll give you this. Joel Embiid.
Oh, my goodness.
If I had to vote today, Joel Embiid would get my MVP vote, slightly ahead of LeBron and, yes, Nick, James Harden. So, Embiid, I'll give you that. He's the MVP. Last night, that shot was awesome. And his whole game was awesome. He can do it all pretty much. You know, he's got his mid-range jumper is straight butter. He can post. He can hit the three pretty well. He's obviously a great defender. So, he's playing tremendous basketball. But here's the problem, Brandon. You don't earn the crown, the mythical crown of best player on the planet in the regular season. Okay, let's look at the last few years.
Goodness.
Based on the regular season, we've heard people say James Harden was the best player in the world. Giannis Antetokounmpo was the best player in the world. At this time last year, a lot of players were yelling Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the world. The people were saying they're the best players in the world. Then come the playoffs. Then come the finals. And we all say, you know what, it's still LeBron. Or some will say Kevin Durant over the past few years. So you get it done in the playoffs. Now, you don't have to win it all. So I'm not saying Embiid has to lead Philly to the finals to become the best player in the world. Remember when LeBron kind of started being viewed as the best player in the world was in 2007 late when he destroyed Detroit, which still was a great team, in the playoffs, 48 points in the one game. Yep. 4 straight victories. They get to the finals. Even though they got swept by San Antonio, people recognize he was just overmatched by the team. But this dude individually is the best player on the planet. If Embiid is dominant, first stay healthy, be dominant in the playoffs, play tremendous against Brooklyn. If he plays tremendous against Brooklyn and they just lose because they're up against a historic trio, then people may be ready to say, you know what, he's still the best player in the world. But, Brandon, it's like the MVP award. We don't give it out in March. We don't give out best player on the planet in March.
Mad at you.
I'm sorry. Because I messed up your thinking.
I wish our producers let you come on on the show and talk more football. You and I get a chance to talk football in between our blocks, in between segments, and offline. So let me go a little football. I'm going to force you to talk football right now. Who's better, Deshaun Watson or Big Ben? Noodle arm Big Ben. Who's better? Because now you're saying, well, right now, because what you're saying to me is, well, Big Ben, he's done it in the playoffs. He's won a Super Bowl. Deshaun Watson hasn't done that yet. So who is better? I just think you and Nick Wright's whole deal on you have to do it in the play. No, it's not. It doesn't matter.
Big Ben is old. Big Ben is old.
Yeah, come on.
Big Ben's too old.
The guy he's comparing to.
LeBron is still playing at a high level.
He won Finals MVP last year. Go ahead, Brandon. Sorry. Go ahead, Brandon.
Okay, but my point is this. My point is this. Here's my point. Joel Embiid is a bucket, Nick. What is a bucket? A bucket is you got a guy who can shoot lights out from 3. You got a guy who can shoot lights out from the field, from the free throw line. He's a bucket. He can do it all. Hakeem Olajuwon, and now you can throw Steph Curry in there as far as a comparison how he's shooting from the 3. And then on the defensive side, he can do it all. So the reason why we fell in love with LeBron and crowned him the best player to grace this planet is because of his ability to do it all. And now the numbers don't lie. So here's 3 things, and I'll throw it to you really quickly. Here's 3 reasons why he's the best. Because all you got to do is watch the game. Just watch the game from last night. Here's the reasons. 5 40-point, 10 rebound games. He's had 5 of them. The rest of the NBA, 4. The second point is this. Throw it up there so everybody can see, all right? 64%, 65% true shooting percentage. Pacing to be the best in 30 points per game, 10 rebounds per game in the season ever. And the last thing is this, and I rest my case. He's 7 feet tall. That's it. He's the best, Nick.
That's a good one. Yeah, that one's less.
Brandon, I'll give you a bonus one. He also right now is averaging the fewest minutes of any 30-point per game scorer ever. So that's a bonus one for you as to why he's the MVP right now, not as to why he's the best player on the planet. Because this is not like fastest man alive where it is always eligible. Anyone who breaks the 100-meter dash world record becomes fastest man alive. That is not how best player on the planet works. I rarely say this on this show, but Chris Broussard was 100% correct, and I can prove it to you. Because let's just go through the last decade on if we anointed best player alive at the All-Star break, what it would look like. Can we show America? It's a nice list of guys. Hey, it's LeBron for a couple years. There's KD. Those 2 years from Steph. Oh, it's LeBron again. James Harden. It's Giannis. Oh, it's the king of LA, Kawhi, and now it's Joel Embiid. If we anointed them at this point of the season, that's a nice list of a half dozen guys. Unfortunately, we do it at the end of the season, so here's what the best player in the NBA has actually been over the last decade. Oh, it's the same person every single year. And everybody knows it. And so, oh, you hate it, Wilds, because you know it's true. And now some people would be like, oh, KD should be in the 2017 spot. They'd be wrong, but I'll listen to them. But Harden, Steph, Giannis, Kawhi never had a chance.
Missed you with it.
Because they could, go ahead, Brandon, please tell me. Push back, yeah.
All right, so I know you're saying at the All-Star break, right? So let me push it forward. I did a little research. I went back 4 years ago. And on Twitter, you released your top 50 all-time greatest in the NBA.
Yes. Yeah.
At number 7, you had Kobe Bryant. You had Duncan. At number 8,
Duncan.
You
number
had
8,
Kobe. What?
Yes.
Number 8. Say it again. What was it?
Yes. 7 Duncan, 8 Kobe. Yeah, that's what you had it right.
But at that time, but at that time, everybody else in sports on television said that Kobe was the greatest. Why did you go out there and be one of 3 people standing on the table saying Tim Duncan was the greatest player during that time? Because you saw it. And now I'm telling you right now, I see. Go ahead.
But here's the thing, Brandon. Tim Duncan in year 2 won Finals MVP. Tim Duncan in year 5 won another title. And then in year 7 won another title. So there's not a question. Joel Embiid has not played in round 3 yet. I am sitting here telling you I think he is right now the league MVP. But you cannot be best player on the planet without proving it to us in the playoffs, which is why Giannis has never actually worn the crown except for metaphorically when he put it on his own head and then had it snatched back from him. Because Giannis last year and the year before far outdoes what Embiid's doing this year. But we all know it. Like, this is just how it works. It's just how, like, I want to see the rule books.
Brandon, was Lamar Jackson the best quarterback? Was Lamar Jackson the best quarterback in the world a few years ago? Was Lamar Jackson the best quarterback in the NFL a couple years ago? Why not? He was phenomenal in the regular season.
No. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with that. Now we're comparing. You guys are comparing accolades. You comparing trophies. I'm comparing just pure skill. I'm comparing. If you put these guys in the same environment, the same situation, what would they do? If you gave Embiid a number 2 that can hit a damn 3 ball and that can actually contribute on the offensive side, could he be a Finals MVP a year ago?
So
that's what I'm comparing.
So
he
Brandon,
didn't even have his number 2 Ben Simmons last year.
That's a really interesting point. So that's a really interesting point. And I think you actually unlocked something there that neither Broussard nor I have said. And I'm going to kick it back to Broussard because I think he'll agree with me on this. Because Brandon, if Brandon's argument is, I'm just watching him, and I don't think other guys can do what he can do, and that's what makes him the best player in the league. I think the reason you and I are hesitating on that is, as great as Embiid has been this year, I am concerned that he will not be able to produce like this in the playoffs because we haven't seen him produce like this in the playoffs. Do you echo that concern? Because nobody has that concern with Durant. Like, we know Durant can be even better in the playoffs. Nobody has that concern with LeBron. Those are the only, and you could argue Kawhi, that there's 3 guys we know their regular season performance actually gets better in the postseason, their postseason performance. We haven't seen, because I've never seen that with Embiid, no matter what the team's success was, I can't put him in that discussion yet. Do you agree with me there?
I agree with you that we haven't seen it yet. And part of it's he's injured a lot. So, number one, stay healthy, Joel. Then we